Welcome to the Transform My Dance Studio podcast, the only podcast for dance studio owners. For each week, we bring you business growth strategies to help you increase your profits, impact the lives of more students, while ensuring you get back some time to have a little life outside of the studio. It's time for you to become the go-to studio in your area. Now, here's your host, founder of the Dance Studio Owners Association, Clint Salter.
Hey there, it's Clint, and before we jump into today's episode, I wanted to let you know about a month-long studio growth training that we're running called January Jumpstart, where for the whole month of January, we're giving you video trainings, online webinars, guides, worksheets, templates, you name it, to get you set up to have success in your studio for 2017. Now, it's free to join. All you need to do is text the number 44222 with the word Jumpstart 17. So that's 44222 and the word Jumpstart 17. Now, if you're in the UK, Australia, or New Zealand, you can go to the website dancestudiowners.association.com/jumpstart, and you'll get access straight away to our group and access to all the trainings that we're going to be running during January to help you build your dance studio. Now let's get on with the episode. Hey there, dance studio owners. It's Clint here, and welcome to another episode of the Transform My Dance Studio podcast. Today, I'm so thrilled to be welcoming the startup expert, Tommi Wolfe, to the show. Now, Tommi started her career in South Africa. You're going to hear a really interesting accent in a second, in the high-tech corporate world, before changing her path and starting up her own business as an independent IT consultant. And it's going to be a bit of a surprise to you to hear that Tommi was definitely not a natural entrepreneur. It took her over a year to start making any money, and she confesses to making every single mistake in the book. After finding her feet, Tommi ended up signing Microsoft, IBM, Hewlett-Packard, DHL, and other prestigious companies as clients. Within 3 years, she was earning much more than she knew how to spend and was placed in the top 0.02% of earners in the country. Tommi ended up selling her South African business and moved to the USA, where she landed a wonderful job with IBM, managing and leading projects worth up to $1 billion. She earned IBM's prestigious Leadership Award and was repeatedly ranked among their top managers worldwide. Now, once she realized that, she was growing too comfortable in her role at IBM, she decided to become a life coach and launched her second US-based business. She's enjoyed great success right from the start and has really become known for helping new entrepreneurs launch their business. I am so excited to bring you Tommi today. Hey, Tommi, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so delighted to be here. And much as you might think my accent's interesting, I'm kind of enjoying yours. So
excellent. We can enjoy each other's accents together as we chat for about the next 30 minutes. So, Tommi, tell us a little bit about what you do in your business today and how you help your clients.
Yes, sure. So I really ended up specializing in micro business. So I specialize in helping mostly one-man entrepreneurs or 1 to 3 man entrepreneurs. But we in US money, we really specialize in the people that haven't hit $500,000 of revenue yet. So, and they have very specific, unique problems to themselves. And I spent many years doing that. And we slowly sort of hatched a year-long program, and it's a little bit like I like to think of it as a spark tank or a think tank. It keeps them safe for a year while they implement and learn the many aspects of actually growing a small business.
Yeah.
But after doing that for quite a while, Clint, I ended up getting the program as good as I could. And it became my method and my brand, really. And I've licensed that method, and I actually now have 26 coaches in 3 countries, none in Australia yet, which I'd love to change. We actually have coaches across the globe now using my method, which has been incredibly rewarding. But we're very much devoted to helping early stage entrepreneurs run rocking businesses.
Yeah, fantastic. I love it. And the niche that you work in terms of businesses that are under $500,000 is perfect for our podcast, because a lot of our dance studio owners are going to fall into that bracket. Now, Tommi, tell me, what are some of the mistakes that entrepreneurs that are at that stage make when it comes to wanting to scale their business?
Well, it's really interesting, but the mistakes are actually very predictable. And when I was a newer business coach, I didn't know that. I used to feel like I was seeing everything for the first time. And I think what's comforting to realize is that most small businesses make the same mistakes, and it's very predictable. And of course, all of us start a business dreaming that it's going to be amazing and make a fortune and give us lots of freedom and joy and excitement and all of those good things. But there really are, some sort of predictable things. I think there's really four very predictable mistakes that we see in the early days that hold them back. One of them is they just won't pick a niche and stick to it. So and everybody knows they should niche. Not many people actually have the courage to do so. So trying to be everything to everybody doesn't really work that well. But the other big mistake that I see is, I would guess most of your people who run dance studios do so because they're absolutely passionate about dance.
Yeah.
And they probably never really stop to think, man, I'm going to have to sell this thing. And they probably don't really love that aspect of the business. So one of the mistakes we see is that most early stage entrepreneurs simply don't spend enough time building the client attraction engine. So many of them are actually repulsed by doing that. And even those that know what to do are just not taking enough time to do it. I always think of a Boeing taking off. I'm sure you know this, Clint, but it uses more fuel taking off, going from 0 to 80 miles an hour than it does going at 400 miles an hour at altitude. But it's very much the same with an entrepreneur. The takeoff stage is tough. You're going to use a lot of fuel booming it. So if people spend time on that, it instantly creates results. And then they often don't use the right methods either. They're using weirdo sort of what I call distance methods to attract clients. So they often do methods that feel safe to them but don't get very good results.
Yeah. So, can I ask you, Tommi, on the selling and marketing, how do you help your clients make that shift from, being a technician, Michael Gerber's E-Myth, being a technician to becoming an entrepreneur and getting comfortable with the sales and marketing process, which is essentially building relationships. I believe that's all it is. But how do you kind of shift them into that mode rather than being the car salesman?
Well, Clint, being the car salesman, I love that you said that, by the way, because I 100% agree with you. And, the best advice I can give any entrepreneur is stop selling and start building relationships. I always think entrepreneur equals marketer. There's no, you can't do the one without the other.
Exactly.
That's so many entrepreneurs hold themselves back by just not taking this on. But the good news is that being salesy like the used car salesman, it's gross. It may have worked once. Sure as heck doesn't work today. And, I look at some of the sales greats from the last century where they had close number 41, pull it out in this sort of situation. I don't know if that ever worked. It might have, but I'm sure it won't work today. And we're very much strong proponents of people having backyard businesses, making real relationships with real people. One of my favorite client attraction techniques for everybody is strategic alliances. So forming really strong friendships and relationships with people that are already connected to your ideal clients. It usually fits every business. And there's no cheating the relationship. And people want to, they want to get online and post like crazy because they can do it behind their PC and it feels safe. Whereas, putting on your game face and getting your tush out there and meeting real people, it does not feel safe. So, but the good news is we all know how to make relationships. And at the end of the day, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So much of it really, to answer your question, how do we actually help them make that transition? Part of it's asking them to relax and stop selling and start making relationships which they're good with.
Totally. I agree with that. What other tips do you have around strategic partnerships? Because we've talked a lot to our studio owners around, forming relationships with local businesses. Look at the hairdresser, look at the health club, the gym, the doctor's surgery, the beautician, the local cafe that your current parents are going to, and go and form relationships with these people. What's the formula for ensuring that you can put in place, introduce yourself and then, start working on a relationship that is sustainable. Because I see people do the wrong thing where they go into the cafe and say, hey, can you put our flyers on your desk? I mean,
right. Yeah.
that's like useless right now. Like that doesn't work anymore. So how should we go? What's like the 2017 method of building strategic partnerships?
Great question. Okay, I've got two things to say. One of them is choose the right partners, and you will know who your right partners are when you've niched well enough. So if you're going to specialize, let's say, for example, in helping people do amazing at their first wedding, then you'd really be looking at people that anything to do in the wedding industry, right? So there would be everybody, whether it was wedding venues or wedding photographers or wedding musicians or whatever, all of those guys would end up in great strategic alliances for you. But the big thing with your strategic alliances, when you nurture a relationship, the very first thing you want to do is give. So you don't want to go and ask them for anything. What you really want to do is befriend them and form, I would say tend and befriend. So you want to plan on doing 3 amazing things for them before you ask them for anything. And it's so easy to introduce yourself to people you don't know these days because, there's social media. All you've got to do is like them on LinkedIn and Facebook, share their posts. If they've got an event coming up, you socialize it. If you can send a client their way, huge bonus. But it's really almost like if you were trying to develop a great friendship with someone, and the natural laws of human reciprocity will take care of the sales. You don't really ever need to go and try and sell or ask these people for anything. It's a hugely giving energy. So I would see, where's the win-win or how could you actively help them? Do that first and I guarantee it will come back to you.
I love it. It's great. It's fantastic because they're one of the things that don't cost us a lot of money. What they cost us is time in the investment in building a relationship. The other great thing for our studio owners that are listening, what I love is that it helps you form a community of other business owners in your area so that it doesn't feel as isolating.
Well, Clint, it's interesting you say that because that's my big buzzword. And I think if you want to pick the one thing that's working in 2017 that is kind of new, because there's many things that aren't working right. What we're noticing plummet is email marketing just isn't working. When I was in the late 90s, people opened 98% of their emails. The national averages in the United States today are 12%. So, email marketing is plummeting as effective. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you, one of the things that's increasing is the word you said is build community. But communities are actually, I think because the whole world's we've become so isolated with digital technology, people are starting to crave connection. And all of our mastermind programs, we actually do live and local because people are craving the community and the connection.
They are. Yeah.
And I would think, I don't know this because I'm definitely no specialist in dance schools, but I would think that a dance studio could be an amazing focal point for a community development of some sort. But that really is what is working. Mm-hmm. So building communities is just, that's one of the hot things that's actually on the increase in terms of attracting clients today.
What else, you obviously do a lot of work in client attraction with the clients that you look after because, in that point where they're under, $500,000, they need to be generating new customers all of the time. What else are you seeing that's working really well?
Everything that works with a relationship is going to work fast. Everything works over time. You can advertise, but it's super expensive and it's got, it's because it's low in relationship, it takes a long time. So anything that really works well. So I would think that the strategic alliances would probably be my favorite method. Any relationship building activities, like having an open night or an event night or test nights, and those sorts of things will help. Definitely incentives are great. We've had amazing results with people using Groupon. Do you have Groupon in Australia?
Yeah, group buying sites.
Right. So, they're not great for making money the first time, but they're definitely great for getting a whole lot of new people introduced to what you do. And if you make it amazing enough and really have a well-developed way of immediately signing them up into something bigger, they can be very, very effective. But so are bring a friends, discounts, open nights, etc. And I do think, you don't want to compete on price because most places there's a lot of competition. I'd really try and do something special or something that other people are not doing in your area. like some sort of VIP program or something that's just different to what's in your area. So you don't want to get into the commodity thing. But the other big thing that I would say that's a particularly good fit for your audience is local SEO, search engine optimization. And guys, please do not go and pay for this. It's probably not this.
I was just going to ask you, what are your, I remember when I had my first business when I was 21, my second business, I was 21, and I paid like $3,000 for SEO for a couple of months, and it did like nothing.
Yeah, me too, Clint. So you're in good company there. Every entrepreneur I know has done that and ended up cancelling it.
Yeah.
Here's what gets you the best SEO by far is reviews. I mean, something amazing in the world today. Like if you want to know what's working, you Google it or you Yelp it or you look. But Google, Yelp, and Facebook are all absolutely superb. And I would try and they really want to see current postings. So if you can get into a habit of asking, I think we're all going to get our friends to post up front, right? But if you do some sort of habit is every time any client raves about you, like anytime you get a compliment, I would say, thank you so much. The best thing you could do for me is to go and put those same words out on Google review today. I would love that. But every time a client's finished working with you, go and get your Google and Yelp and Facebook reviews up, because that will help you get found locally better than pretty much any other thing that you can do.
Yeah, I agree. Great tips there that, again, are low cost and just take some time and planning to make them happen. So our studio owners love that. Just as important as attracting, new students and parents into our studio is ensuring that we're retaining our customers. So what are some of your tips or strategies around, giving our customers a wow experience and ensuring that they, stay involved and hopefully purchase more through our business?
Well, I think it's an excellent question. And I think there's a saying somewhere, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. But it's enormously better for you, just in terms of the best use of your dollar. It's much easier for you to keep the clients you've got and their friends and kids and everybody else around them who they might refer to you, than it is to be constantly getting new clients. So I love the concept of engineering in amazing right from the beginning. But having relationships with your clients, again, coming back to that good old-fashioned word, Clint, is it's probably the best thing you can do. Is most people just come back because they love you. But to be a little bit more pragmatic and businesslike about it, when you see that their program's coming to an end or their set of lessons is coming to an end, it's really helpful for you to have somewhere to take them. So, to get ahead of the game and be the first to go out and say, hey, I see we've only got so many more lessons left. Here's what your options are. And I'd always give options so that they have a choice of 1, 2, or 3. So I'd make sure they've got somewhere to go. Don't have your programs just end. But you have somewhere to take them. Like, you're doing great. We'd love to put you into a more advanced class. You're showing a lot of promise. But you go and ask them, because very often if they have a good relationship with you and you offer it, it's yours. And it's easier than going and bringing in new clients for sure.
Yeah. I think that's, it's important, and it's something we talk a lot about is retention and how to get our existing customers, doing and engaging more with us through additional classes, or for offering birthday parties, or we've got merchandise, keeping them aware of what's kind of happening inside of our studio. Now, when you're working with clients, in those kind of beginning stages as they're growing with 1 to 3 staff, how important is it that they know the numbers, the financial side of their business? And what advice do you give those technicians who are creative, heavy right-brainers who are not as interested or kind of have the knowledge around the numbers? What do you kind of suggest to them so that, they can grow their business, but also be aware of what's going on with their money?
I've got a big grin on my face, which you can't see. And I'm smiling because there's something in the entrepreneurial brain that most entrepreneurs don't do an amazing job of this. And very often entrepreneurs are spending and investing in their business so fast, they almost don't want to know how much profit.
It's like, let's just close my eyes and I'm just going to pray for the best.
Right. And then here's the sad thing. Most of them don't get bookkeepers because they're too ashamed to let the bookkeepers see. You know, it's like a little duck in the water. The top part looks all calm and amazing. And underneath the water, the little feet are paddling like crazy. But I've had a couple of entrepreneurs who just don't want anybody to know. But here's what I want to say about that is the metrics are vital. Like everything you want to get results in, you know, what you measure expands. So you do need to get a grip of your finances. And if it's not your thing, it's one of the quickest, cheapest, easiest things to outsource. So I personally, dance studios are complicated. You've got a high number of clients working at a not hugely high price point. So the finances are going to be complicated. So I would strongly recommend that you actually get somebody who loves dealing with boring numbers to come and do it once a month and let you at least once a month see what your profit and loss is and make sure you're keeping an eye on those metrics. It's one of the very first things that I usually suggest people outsource, because if you're doing that, you shouldn't be. You should be out getting clients.
You know, I think one of the things there is like really identifying like what is your strength, like what is your super strength. And the other day I was talking to one of our members and they've recently got rid of their bookkeeper and they don't have a replacement and they're doing it all. And I was like, that's got to stop, because that's taking you like hours and hours and hours and you don't even know if what you're doing is right. You know, you need to bring people on that know that. And then you can get a report, ideally once a week, every 2 weeks, kind of where you're at financially. But you've got to, you know, the other thing, I don't know if you've seen this with your clients, but people tend not to, you know, invest in a bookkeeper or have an accountant that can actually do more than just, you know, file their taxes. And I think in the long term, it's so important you've got good people in your, you know, on your side of the court when it comes to your numbers.
I totally agree with you, Clint. I mean, my observation has been people are slow to invest, and I get it. I mean, you're trying to build a business and every dollar is precious. But, you know, all of us are going to be absolutely at our best when we stay in our genius zone. And most entrepreneurs are not amazing at the book. Some are, but let me tell you, even if they are, even if it was their genius zone, if they've started a dance studio, that's not the best use of their time. I'm a techno geek. I could do my website and I could do our Infusionsoft. I don't, because I've honestly just got better things to do, or things that are more strategic for growing my company. And I do think, you know, you asked me earlier about scaling. Most scaling in a business is a series of making uncomfortable investments that you can barely afford in people and systems and infrastructure. And that's how you're going to get to $1 million one day or 10 million. You're going to be making a whole series of these never comfortable decisions. So I get why, you know, it feels uncomfortable to be bringing in staff when you're not affording it, but it does allow you the freedom to go and attend to the things that need your attention, like business building.
So important, and something that I think a lot of studios, hopefully that's kind of tweaked something in a couple of our studio owners' minds when it comes to their numbers. Tommi, I want to wrap up by asking you, what do you think is the one thing that studio owners can do, let's say in the next 7 days, that would either help increase their profits, that would help them become more of the leader, more of the CEO in their business, or help them, you know, get back a bit more of their life? You can pick any of those.
You know, I want to give you, this is my personal secret, Clint, and I honestly feel like if you spend every Friday afternoon sitting down and thinking what the 3 items are that are going to move you forward the most in the next week. So in other words, what 3 things are going to move my business forward the most during the next week? And then you have the discipline to make sure you do them. And every day before you go home, write down the 3 things. So every day do it for the next day, and every week do it for the next week. But here's the thing. Most of us we do whatever's available to do. And your absolute hyper focus on building your business, in other words, what's really going to move you forward for the next week, and doing it at a more strategic, because, you know, all of us have to-do lists. This isn't a to-do list. Probably the activities that you find that are your top 3 activities for the week aren't even on your to-do list. They're more strategic, they're more forward-thinking. But it's a hyper-focus on your own productivity, because most of us fritter away our time in vast, crazy quantities. And the good news is, so is your competition. So if you can just get yourself to focus and shut out distractions, which is hard for entrepreneurs. We have brains that see opportunity everywhere. But if you can actually hyper-focus on what's going to move you forward, I already know that you have the ingenuity to come up with the right thing for your own business. Chances are you probably just aren't doing it today. So it's making it simple enough that it's just 3 things each week. I think that tends to move people forward in a quantum shift.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Look, Tommi, I've absolutely loved having this conversation with you today. I could talk to you for many more hours. Maybe we'll get you back on the show later in the year to have another catch up with you. Where can our studio owners go to find out more about what you're up to inside of your business?
They can go to the Startup Expert, or they can reach out directly to me, Tommi@thestartupexpert.com. So both of those places are good places to go.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time, Tommi. Really appreciate it.
All right. Lovely chatting with you, Clint. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's Clint, and I hope you really enjoyed that episode from our Studio Success Secrets Week. Now, if you didn't catch it at the beginning, I want to make sure that you know that for the month of January, we're running January Jumpstart, where we're giving you free access to a number of different trainings, worksheets, templates, video trainings, webinars to help you grow your studio in 2017. Now, to get access to all of these trainings, I want you to text the number 44222 with the word Jumpstart 17. That's the number 17. So 44222 with the word Jumpstart 17 to get access to our January Jumpstart group. Now, if you're in Australia, New Zealand, or the UK, what I want you to do is go to dancestudioownersassociation.com/jumpstart, and you can get access as well to all of our trainings that we're having inside our members area for January Jumpstart. Now, we've already got hundreds of dance studio owners from around the world that are joining us in this training, and I hope to see you there. So don't delay, jump on in, and let's make 2017 together your best year in business. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. For all the resource links from the show and to receive access to our free dance studio growth training, make sure you visit transformmydancestudio.com.